So we are now moving to the objectives of the AfCFTA. So what are the objectives? Because for in the agreement, the objectives are stated. The first thing it's seeking to achieve is to create a single market for goods and services, complemented by the free movement of persons and investments facilitation. So as I stated, a single market of 54 African countries. That's the major thing that the AfCFTA. So by the time the barriers are eliminated or reduced or the obstacles are removed, then a single market is created. Then we have free movement. People can easily move. We are looking at also removing the barriers that is hindering the free movement of, I had mentioned pricey tickets and airfares, then air ticket fares. By the time, so from the free movement of persons and investment, that's just the airfares was just an example. There are other ways that you move around it, not just so. When barriers are reduced or eliminated, there's a single market. You have a single market. You have access to 54 member countries or for the 43 that have ratified it. So that is what's the objectives of the AfCFTA. And of course, the next to expand intra-African trades across the regional economic communities and the continents in general. So just like I said, we have to promote trade in Africa across the regional economic general. So what are the regional economic communities? We have the ECOWAS, Economic Community of West Africa. So there are some of them. We have the EAC, East African Community. We have the COMESA, we have the SAD. So there trade has been going on within these communities. That's the way trade has been going on in Africa. So what the AfCFTA is seeking to expand it, to promote it, to increase it more, to get more people involved within this community and within the continent in general. So that is what the AfCFTA is seeking to achieve. And another objective is to promote industrial development through diversification and regional value chain development, agricultural development, and food security. Yes, I agree with me that most of what is being exported is usually in raw form, raw material. For example, in Nigeria, you're exporting raw in oil that for it to go and to be refined, that's oil, petrol to be refined, to be imported back to be sold in Nigeria. They're more like agriculture, we deal more in commodities, raw materials, agriculture. So what if they, rather than just exporting raw materials out and to some other country, would then now add value to it. And so they make money, then value addition, you make more money through value addition than on raw materials. So what you have to do, let's get more industry, of course, will be diversified. Let's create more value from our product, like value add. So that's where you make more money from value addition, profit that means. So when, like, for example, cocoa, it's you make chocolate, there are some market that do. Of course, you make more money rather than just exporting cocoa. That's a raw material. You make more money from the chocolate that is going to be produced from it. So those are the things that the AfCFTA is also seeking to address. Of course, value chain development, industries, infrastructure will be built, logistics and all, across the value chain, agricultural development, then food security in Africa. So those are one of the things that the AfCFTA is also seeking to address. Then to progressively eliminate tariffs and non-tariff barriers to trade in goods. I've discussed that progressively might not just going to be at once. There are some African countries that are more developed than the others. So we are looking at ways for each one. How do we eliminate or reduce it? Reduce it. It's not, we're not just going to be one time. It's a journey. How do we progressively so that we are trading that things that's what it then. Trading services. There are some people we don't produce products, we offer services, they are professional services. How can I offer professional services to other Africans outside of Nigeria? So this is what the African did also to reduce or remove or reduce restrictions to trade and service. Of course, there could be restrictions on if you want to offer your services in this country, you have to register probably a professional association, or this is what the law says in respect of this service industry. This is how you can offer it as if you are not a national of this country. Those are the things that the AfCFTA is seeking to address. Then now we move to the AfCFTA agreement is divided into protocols. So it's not just one agreement. So we have the trade in goods protocol, we have the trade in services protocol, we have the intellectual property protocol. So that's the way the AfCFTA agreement is being worked on. Then we have the investment protocol. We have competition policy. We have dispute resolution. We have women and youths and digital trade. So the agreement is faced in different phases. So there's a protocol that deals with people that trade in goods, that deal in goods. There's a protocol for that. And there's a protocol for services. Those are things differently on its own. How do you, and what are the policies? How are we going to handle services? What are the commitments of each state in respect of services? Some of these protocols are still being developed. Then we have the protocol, we talk on competition, and competition policy. Then, intellectual property, for some of this thing, this needs to be addressed as well to ensure that everyone, whoever the producers, sellers, or that your IP is protected. In selling your product, you want to ensure that nobody is using your profiting from your own intellectual property. So those are protocols, those are things that also have to be being looked into how to address that. Then investment, if you want to invest in an African country, that's also being looked at as well. Competition policy, how do you look at it so that the issues of the reduced proper competitive environment, proper policies in place in respect of that. Then we have dispute resolution. You must agree with me, even with family members that dispute, talk less of people, even within Nigerian buyers that are dispute, talk less of you now moving to a wider market. So there has to be provisions of that. How are we going to handle when disputes arise? What are we going to do? Arbitration. How do we ensure that disputes justice is dispensed as fast as possible? There's quick and faster ways of resolving disputes, so that's what we're talking about, barriers, so that all this is not delaying trade, is not delaying services, is not. So that's it. Then women and youths, there are a lot of challenges that women and youths are encountering. So this is for you that they encounter in trade. So you have to look at how do we ensure that the barriers that face women and you, for example, the accessing finance, women business, you business. You might not be like on some other normal business. You might not be able. You need finance to grow your business. You might the terms and conditions of getting those funds. You might not be able to meet it. So those are the ways that the AfCFTA is also seeking to look at. How do we have facilities that specifically address to enable women and youth also trade easily within the continent, so that we remove the barriers, we reduce the barriers. Then digital trade, I'm sure you must agree, a lot of you, how do you get yourself, you might not be able to go within the post, but internet now, there are things, digital infrastructure, put things on YouTube, get your products online. There are e-commerce portals that are also being created. Put your products there. But also all this needs to be, there are proper policies in place in order to resolve difficulties or issues that may arise in respect of all this. So those are the things that you're looking at, like, okay, if I can sell, I put myself online, put myself on e-commerce portals, I can have access to buyers from other. So for this discussion, we're going to be looking more at trading goods and trading services. Those are we're going to talk about for the AfCFTA, and we'll look at what is the objective of trading goods. So I'm going to talk more about trading goods now. What is the objective of the trading goods protocol? It's to create a liberalized market for trading goods, of course. And to discuss that is create a market that barriers are eliminated or reduced for you to be able to trade your goods. You want to sell your product in Ghana, you should be able to easily transport it without any restrictions or whatever. If there are restrictions, as much as possible, they are reduced for you to easily export it out of Nigeria and sell to the Ghanaian market, or sell to any other market, maybe Kenya, or sell to an Egypt market. Those are the things that, so that it's not just difficult, like you say, we have a single market, and yet to easily to access those markets, there are tough terms, the policies are there. What are the requirements for me to bring in the product? What are the government's regulations in respect of this certain product? What must be on it? Those are the things that you do. Then, of course, you eliminate tariffs and non-tariff barriers to trade in goods. Tariff barriers I've discussed. What are the quotas, taxes, duties by the time, so that more people can be able to can easily take, because if the cost of you exporting is quite you might just like, is it really profitable for me to export my product if I'm going to have to pay so high for to in order to sell in that country, if the government due to the quota or the taxes or the duties required by the government of the country that you're actually so high, you might just be wondering. But we need to boost the African, we need to get more Africans to trade. So by the time trade and service with the African continent will grow, you must agree with the non-tariff barriers. I've discussed this as well, to remove it from what are the issues at ports, what are the technical requirements in respect of the goods as well in the African country that you want to take it. So we look at the scope. The trade in goods protocol is divided in annexes. So we look at the schedules. The first one, we have the annex one, speaks of schedules of tariff concessions. These are the tariff concessions that each country is bringing out, like, okay, we are going to concede tariff in this respect. This is what we are going to. So some of it are still being looked at, and as it's coming along, because yeah, in the course of implementation, we get to hear some of this information. But those are the things that these parties, state parties, that the member countries of AfCFTA refer to as state parties. These are some of the things that they are doing. So negotiations are still ongoing in respect about what this course helps here to help you out is how do you position yourself. So we are trying to just introduce you to the AfCFTA so that you understand what the agreement is about, and then you can easily prepare yourself and get yourself ready, so that you're not waiting like, okay, when it's ready, opportunities will not wait for you. By then, get yourself ready, and everyone will, and you put your business out there. Then we are going to look at the rules of origin. This is the major one for us in this course. The rules of origin. What do you mean by rules of origin? What are the pre-qualification requirements for your goods to enjoy preferential treatment? So this is what we are looking at. Then, of course, we have Annex 3, Customs Cooperation and Mutual Administrative Assistance. If you are going to export to Kenya, export to Ghana, export to Egypt, export to Lesotho, export to Zambia, export to Angola, the customs, there has to be customs cooperation requirement. How do they work together? What are their requirements? They are looking at all that. Then mutual administrative assistance. You're also looking at that as well. That is for each, okay, are we going to assist ourselves in our country, in your country? What it is, what are the requirements? Trade facilitation, how do we get goods to move easily? Those are some of the things you are also looking at. And non-tariff barriers. So there's an annex that's specifically for it, dealing with non-tariff barriers. And we're also looking at technical barriers to trade, how that's going to be dealt with. That's what this protocol is. Then sanitary and sanitary measures in respect of sanitary, look at maybe in respect of animal products, poultry products, what are the requirements? So these are part of the things that we will be discussing more in this course. So